Now, I know one of the topics that is of great interest here is around the hiring reform effort, and I actually will have some questions for folks that I'd like to ask. But again, even here, number one, you've got hiring on the agenda of OMB, something that's never happened before, even though it ought to have. And number two, some of the questions that they're asking and some of the requirements they're putting in are really around the data piece. So one of the front-end pieces that are required are simply mapping the hiring process, requiring agencies to look and see what they got. In 2006, the partnership and actually working with a set of private sector companies who all pro bono helped us out, including Monster, we did something called the Extreme Hiring Makeover, in which we worked with 3 agencies to help transform their hiring process. And the starting point was mapping that process. And do we have anyone here from Federal Student Aid? Because I'm going to use you as an example. I want to make sure that it's okay on your part, but since no one's here, yes it is. But as an example, and I may get these numbers slightly off, but I'm pretty clear that these are right. We mapped that hiring process at Federal Student Aid, and we found out that it turned out to be 110 steps, and 45 people touched every single hire. And that was not the worst news. The worst news was, number one, no one knew it to begin with, and number two, they got the wrong person at the end of the day. And the reason they got the wrong person at the end of the day is that they didn't have the upfront conversation between the hiring manager and those who own the hiring process about what the true requirements were for the job. And I see some heads nodding here. And the truth of the matter is that, this isn't rocket science, but it is as important as rocket science. And we do need to make sure that we get all of this right. And fixing one piece, simply figuring out what the hiring process is, doesn't do it. You got to think through the whole system change and the end outcome that you're trying to get, which is ultimately better talent and talent that actually wants to stay. That's the right talent for the organization in order to succeed. But I say all this because I think that what we're seeing now is buy-in at very senior levels that these are critical issues. Truth be told, they are critical issues. They have been critical issues for a while. They've just become more critical. And we also have an incredible opportunity. Because part of my advice to all of you would be, if you do not imagine a world in which you're getting even better talent than you ever have in your agency's history, then you're missing the boat. Because we do have, for a variety of reasons, an unusual window right now that enables government really to upgrade its talent. And upgrade its talent in 2 ways, one of which is trying to bring in new talent, and the second is by investing in existing talent, because I think there's an appetite in that piece as well. And both those things have to happen. Recruitment and retention are 2 sides of the same coin. If you don't develop your existing talent, it doesn't, at the end of the day, much matter who you recruit in, because you'll lose those new people coming in even if they're fabulous, and if they're fabulous, they're not going to go to a place that doesn't take care of its people well.